Hey guys, what's up? Hey guys, what's up? How are you doing? कैसे हो यार? Yeah. Folks are joining in. Yeah. Let's wait for three odd minutes, and then we'll start. A long time since I have met, guys, all of you, right? Oh wow, there are 11 folks. Very nice, amazing. People are joining in. Very nice, very nice. Oh, Prasad has also joined. Very nice. Oh, Radhanesh is also there. Hey, Snehal. Hi, how are you? Amazing. I think folks are joining in. We'll wait for two odd minutes more and then we'll start. Hey guys. Hi Pramath. Hey, hi Kamlesh. Very nice. Awesome. Hey Richa. How are you doing? कैसे हो भाई लोग? Amazing. Thank you Pramath. क्या हाल चाल है? How are things? How are you? Till the time people are joining in, please do like the video as soon as possible. Yes, I see there are 18 people in the chat. There are more people who will be joining in very soon. Yeah, awesome. क्या चल रहा है और? Awesome. You're able to listen to my voice, right? It's clearly audible, right? Very nice. Prasad is in my cohort, so I think he's relaxing after the assignment submission. Yeah, people are joining in. Very nice, guys. I request all of you to please like the video. It is very important. We have to effectively make the reach as much as possible, and we'll be starting in another 1 minute. And that is how what we will work across. Today's session is going to be interesting. I'm really sorry, guys. For the last 3 weeks, I was not able to do a live. Extremely sorry. I was damn busy with things. Very things. But I think what we will do today is, since we have already covered a major structure of what a product manager is, what does he do, then specifically we've talked about, if you have gone through, people who have not gone through the other lives, feel free to go there. Feel free to go there. What is the meaning of a PM? Then simultaneously we've talked about growth and multiple other aspects, right? Today we are going to talk about something very close, and which I'm also speaking in my cohort, is primarily a topic on analytics and experimentation, right? What does analytics mean? What does experimentation mean, right? And that is something that we will start. I'll quickly share my screen. Just give me a second and you let me know if you're able to see my screen. Awesome. Give me a second. Guys, you're able to see my screen? Awesome. Are you able to see my screen? Guys, give me a yes in the chat. Awesome. So before we start now, let me give you some context. Even before I effectively share my screen, let me set some context for you guys. Yeah. So here, right now, what we have effectively figured out, that for a PM, specifically what happens is that whenever you make a product, right, the biggest challenge for you is from identifying the right problem to solve, then eventually moving to an aspect where you're figuring out a solution for it, and then simultaneously you're moving towards how do you, the topic of today's conversation is how do you figure out that what is important and how do you measure the success of that solution. That is where metrics come in, right? Like, let me give you a very simple example. Think of a shop, There is a shop that specifically you have opened. You are selling the right goods. Like you realize that in your area there is a demand supply gap of clothes, and you opened a clothes shop. You figured out that people want to buy clothes from there. Everything works fine, but how do you effectively, as an entrepreneur or as a business owner, effectively figure this out, that the solution that you are presenting is actually a successful solution or not? Is that clear? Right? How do you figure? So that is where the concept of metrics comes in. Right? I'll quickly share my screen, and I'll show you something. Give me a second. Yeah. Where is, just a second. Now think of it like this. There's a product, there was a need, you identified that there is a need in your locality, then post your need, you came up to a solution, figured out a solution. Now, how do you know that the solution is successful or not? This is where effectively, give me a second. How do you know whether the successful is successful or not? This is where analytics and experimentation comes in. Is that clear? This is where we are starting point. Is that clear to you guys? Right? Basically, the point is you identified a need, you looked at a solution, but how do you know that the solution is successful or not? Right? Opinions are very nice. Like if you say that, oh, it's a great solution, it's etc., it's this or that. But fundamentally, is there a measurable outcome way in which you figure it out that basically the solution is working across or not? Now, coming to the fact. First of all, what is a metric? I want to listen to you guys. What do you mean by a metric? People, please on the chat, let me know what do you think of what is a metric? What is a metric? I need answers, guys. Quickly, can you put it on the chat? What do you think? What is a metric? Guys, please जल्दी respond करो. I think delay चल रहा है इसके अंदर. I need answers. What is a metric? अरे रे, people are not even writing. What the hell? Awesome. So logically, people have put across four things. Something that can be measured, right? Second, a measurable quantity. Third, quantifiable measure of something. Measure of success or failure of any solution. Metric is measurements, right? So something that can be measured, right? Now let's simply think of what is a success measure of a shop success. What should be the metric that you should look at? Ideally, for a shop success, revenue minus cost is equal to profit. So is profit a metric that a shop should track? Give me a yes or no in the chat. Give me a yes or no in the chat. Is profit a way to measure the success of a shop? I'm talking in pertaining to a shop. Is profit a way to measure the success of a shop? Amazing. Very nice. Very correct. Right? Now the very same thing goes for any product solution. But how do we think of product solutions, right? Now, typically when you think of product solutions, you think of journeys, right? So what I mean by that is every product is basically a user journey. ये बात समझ में आई कि नहीं आई? Every product is a user journey. Should I explain this? This is a very interesting concept, guys. People don't understand this, but every product is just a user journey of problem to solution. Is that clear? What I mean by that is, let's assume Swiggy was a product, right? What was the problem that Swiggy faced? That people effectively currently don't get the desired food they want. That's the one thing. Second, don't get them on time or quickly. Third part, don't get a standard price for it. For these, the three problems that Swiggy was trying to solve, people currently don't get the desired food they want. They have to go to restaurants. Secondly, they don't get it on time quickly. Third, they don't get a standard price for it. Right? ऐसा थोड़ी होता है कि बिरयानी costs you $1,000 on Swiggy. Never happens, right? There is a standard range that they want to solve. So what has Swiggy solved as a product? What they figured out, that there was this problem, so they created an app in which what they did, they actually told the user, the first step, they acquired users and told that basically we are solving your problem of getting food, quality food on time. This is what they communicated. So the first step is that when you do acquisition of a customer, right, you effectively say, we are solving a certain problem for you. That's the first step in the user journey, right? The first step in the user journey is you acquire a customer. Is that clear? Any product that you make, let's assume तुमने कोई कल को एक app बना दिया, तो first thing what you will do, you will tell people that I've made a solution to your problem, right? That's the first step. So that is what you call acquisition. That's why whenever a solution is launched, what do you see? A new company has launched, they put out ads on Instagram, Facebook, multiple places to say that there was a problem and we have solved your problem. Is that correct or not? Is that clear to you guys or not? The first step is acquisition. Yes or no? Give me a yes or no on the chat, guys. Awesome, awesome, awesome. So once the first step is done, what is the next step in that funnel? The next step in the funnel is activation. Now, people take this step very, very lightly. What do you mean by? So guys, I want to understand in the user journey, what do you mean by activation? What do you mean by activation? What is activation, right? I'm just asking this question to you. Activation is the step when the user effectively gets the first value of the solution. Like he really realizes that this solution is actually solving a problem for me. What was the activation for Swiggy? Guys, I'm asking you this question and then we will solve it. We are solving a case together in order to figure out where metrics come in. What is the activation step for Swiggy? Now, I understand it's the first intended step taken by the user, everything is, but in actual terms, what is the activation step for Swiggy? A user booking his first order. Yes, it's either add to cart or pay now or buy now. Correct? That is the first time you actually get accustomed to the service of Swiggy. How do you say that Swiggy is a great product? How will a customer know that a Swiggy is a great product? He first has to place an order, right? He has to figure out the restaurant, figure out the dish, and eventually place the order. And the order comes specifically to you. You realize the quality of the food was good. All three problems. What are the three problems? I got the food that I want. I got it on time. I got a standard price for it. Correct? Yes. Not sign in. Kishan, sign in is not the activation step. When you sign up in Swiggy, it is not something that you're getting value. Activation is the step when somebody figures out the value of the product. This is extremely important. Please, guys, don't ever think just logging into the app means activation, right? So how many of you remember that Facebook said this thing that whenever they wanted to active a user, that you had to make 7 friends in 3 days or 7 days, whatever that logic was, right? Activation is the first step when you realize, oh yes, this solution is actually something that solves my problem. That's the first. So for Swiggy, it was placing the order. Because what does placing the order mean? Placing the order means people solved all three problems. One, that people figured out the right kind of food they want. Second, they actually got it on time. Third, they actually paid a standard price for it. So three core user problems were actually solved while the user placed an order and actually had the experience. Is that correct? Is that clear to you guys? Is that fundamentally clear to you guys that activation is a step when user figures out the first value of the product, first time the value that the, is that clear to you guys? Awesome. Now what happens after you figure out a value? What happens after you realize, no yaar, this is really valuable to me? What happens then? The third step comes in, retention. If a product is actually giving value to you, it's actually providing value to you, what will you do? What is the next step will you do? What is the next step that you will do? Let's assume you figured out, अरे यार Swiggy तो मेरे को whenever I need food, I get the food I want. It's an amazing product. What is the next time if you have food, what will you do? Will you go to a restaurant or will you use Swiggy? If you figured out that basically, अरे ये तो मेरी problem solve कर रहा है sir. This is actually, will you go to the restaurant or will you effectively go back and order again? Awesome. Yes. So you will order again. Yes. So retention kahan se aata hai? Retention as a funda comes from the fact when the user discovers that this is something that is truly valuable to me. Is that correct or not? Let's assume tomorrow you figure out, there is a website which gives me 50% off on flight tickets. And they have a model, they have a business model built around it. Maybe some kind of lease model, or they already pre-book tickets and they book in bulk, whatever that model is. But for an end user, it is effectively giving you 50% discount on every flight ticket, right? So logically, what will happen is every time that you have to book a flight ticket, people will automatically come back. Is that correct? Awesome. So logically, retention is a structure in which people, after they have figured out a value, they eventually order the same thing again and again because the value compounds. Also, one more very interesting aspect of retention is that fundamentally if you're ordering again and again, do you think the value is same or the value compounds, becomes even bigger, and you become loyal to the platform? If you are using the same product again and again, does it happen that then after ordering 60 orders from Swiggy, will you leave Swiggy tomorrow easily? Tomorrow somebody says there's a new platform that has come in, will you leave Swiggy? I'm asking a very fundamental question to you guys. You have ordered multiple times from Swiggy, everything is happening multiple times. Tomorrow there's a new platform, will you easily leave it or not? It compounds after every order. Correct. So logically, retention as a metric is something which compounds. The same thing happened with Facebook. If you have 7 friends, right, you will ideally leave the platform at any point of time, correct? 7 friends is okay, but let's assume you add more and more friends, right? After 1,000 friends, will you be able to leave the platform? Is it easier for you to leave Facebook after 1,000 friends, or is it easier for you to leave Facebook after 7 friends? 1 or 2? 1 is 1,000 friends, 2 is 7 friends. 1 is 1,000 friends, 2 is 7 friends. Where will you be able to leave the platform? Awesome. So logically, you figured out that, wow, the value is compounding. So what happens post value? If you realize, oh, the value of the platform is so amazing, right? What will happen for getting this value? Because logically, what you will do, you will compare. I used to go to a restaurant, I used to take my fuel of 100 rupees, go back, come back, then the food was not of good quality. So logically, if a platform is saying, pay me 50 rupees and I will take care of everything, will you pay, will you not pay? Will you pay? Will you not pay? Like you realized, you compare it. You always, you see, in going to a restaurant, ordering food, it used to take me my bike. I used to go on the bike. I used to stay there, spend time there, come back, and effectively the food was either of good quality or not of good quality. So logically, I'm spending 300 bucks effectively from going and coming back, spending time, because time value of money is also there. But Swiggy is only asking for 50 rupees for me. Should Will it be an easy decision for you to give 50 rupees? Will it not be an easy decision for you to give 50 rupees? It will be an easy decision, right? So logically, you will start paying money for it. Is that clear or not? Whenever you think of value, you always compare with the preceding solution. In the preceding solution, kya kar rahe the? You were actually going to the restaurant. You were investing petrol there. You were paying money on the restaurant, which was not standardized. The restaurant owner says, "Sir, aaj to biryani 400 rupees ki hai. Matlab, we have this order only," right? So it's not standardized. Third, you had to come back and logically, agar wo gir gaya khana, kuch problem hogi, anything happened to the food while you were traveling, right? Then also there's a problem. So logically, you're investing 400-500 bucks or 300-400 bucks only to order food and take it back. In general, I'm talking about. In Swiggy, they say pay me 50 rupees for delivery fees. Will you pay? Will you not pay? As simple as that. You'll pay. So logically, the fourth step in this bucket comes across as revenue, right? And finally, last step is referral. Now tell me, if a product is really, really simplifying your life, see, a product value is like happiness. What happens to happiness? Whenever you are happy, you tell other people, right? So logically, if a product is making you happy, what will you start doing? Will you start, I need an answer. Will you start referring Swiggy? Will you not start referring Swiggy? I'm asking this question, one or two. If you feel that Swiggy has actually simplified your payment and your buying needs and everything and your restaurant needs, will you refer? Will you not refer? I'm giving you an answer. Please give me an answer in the chat. Will you refer? Will you not refer? You'll start referring. Amazing. So in all of these 5 places, now you have figured out the entire user journey. Like, you understood what the user journey of the product is now, right? That you basically, whenever a product is built, you first acquire the customer, you activate the customer, you effectively retain the customer, you then because of that retention, because of the compounding of value, you effectively start paying for it, and then finally the referral happens, right? These are the 5. Now these are not steps who are parallel. Revenue and referral can happen in parallel, right? You are still ordering it across, but while you're still referring to your friend that why don't you use Swiggy. Make sense? Now what's the next step in a company's side, right? What is the, so when a company is in different stages, let's assume a company is in 0 to 1 stage, okay, 1 to 10 stage, 10 to 100 stage, right? What is a 0 to 1 stage? First of all, I want to ask this question to you guys. What do you mean by a 0 to 1 stage? What is when the company is actually building a product, right? They have not hit this term called product market fit. How many of you guys can tell me what is product market fit? What is product market fit? How many of you guys can tell me what is PMF? What is product market fit? What is product market fit, guys? I need an answers. Product market fit basically means that a product is good enough to solve the need of a problem, a need of the market. Like, let's assume Swiggy today only allowed you to just discover restaurants, not order from them. Do you think they would have achieved product market fit? I'm asking a simple question to you. If Swiggy just allowed you to discover restaurants, just discover, but not order from them, right? Do you think they would have achieved product market fit? Absolutely, which is correct. No, obviously not, because the problem is just not discovering restaurants. The problem also includes ordering from restaurant, ordering on time and on payment on time, and then simon delivery on time, right? Exactly, exactly. So logically for Swiggy, product market fit comes to that point when they have cracked the entire user journey of finding the right restaurant, finding the right dish, ordering it at a particular price, and eventually taking it to a point where it gets delivered to you. So in a 0 to 1 stage, right? Out of these, all of these metrics, when you're building, you first focus on retention. Now, how many of you guys can tell me, while you are building the product, while you have not hit product market fit, why should we focus on retention? I'll give you the answer also, but guys, I need your answers from your side. Make it very interactive, yaar. Baat karo, yaar. Come on, tell me. When a product has not achieved product market fit, I am saying they focus a lot on retention. Why? Retention as a metric. Why? Come on, come on, come on. I see 43 people in the chat. I need answers. When a product is in a 0 to 1 stage, when they have not hit product market fit, they focus a lot on retention. The reason for that is, yes, correct. Logically, when you're building the product, you effectively have to figure out where the first set of users find extreme value so that they will never leave the platform. So logically, when you're building, you will always build the product in such a way so that the first 1,000 users eventually give me a feedback that they will never leave the platform, right? So you focus a lot on retention. That is the user actually coming the next day. What is retention? Retention basically means if you have acquired 100 users on day one, what is the percentage of users who are coming back on day 2, on day 3, on day 4, on day 5, day 6? And we measure, like if you have to measure monthly retention, it basically means the number of users who were acquired on day 0, what percentage of those users actually stayed back on day 30. I will just define monthly retention for you. Like, let's assume monthly retention. If you acquired 1,000 users on day 0 and on day 30 200 users was left, what is your monthly retention? What is your monthly retention? Your monthly retention is 20%. Is that clear? Logically, after a month, right, what percentage of users who were acquired actually stay back on the platform? It's 20%. Now tell me, is 20% a good number from monthly retention or not? Give me a very simple answer. Is 20% a good number? Is 20% a good number or not? Good or bad? Nope. Yes, it's a bad number. So it's saying the number of users who came on the Swiggy platform and after a month only 20% retaining. If 20% are retaining, then हम build क्या कर रहे हैं यार? Then majority of the people we are already losing. We are already losing 80% of the users. Exactly. That is exactly how it is. Yes. It depends on service. But in a consumer service, 20% is a very bad number where it's not like a service of buying a house, right? Shrey, it is a service. I am specifically talking in comparison to Swiggy. Kishan, in terms of Swiggy, when your repetition of orders is like daily, almost daily, right? Do you think 20% retention is a good number for Swiggy? Yes, correct. So logically what people up now in the second case scenario, let's assume you got the feedback, you built multiple things, and eventually your monthly retention grew from 1000 D0 to 800 D30, which is 80%. What does this mean? That now the monthly retention has reached 80%, right? Now in this scenario, in 80%, what does this mean? That majority of the users are staying on the platform and finding value, right? So logically, if 80% of the users are staying on the Swiggy platform after a month, do you think they have achieved product market fit? Because what is product market fit? Product market fit basically means the user are finding so much value on the platform that they're staying on the platform using the platform. So logically, for achieving product market fit, first thing that we do is we focus on retention and take it to as high as possible. For a consumer platform, it should be 60-70%. Once 70% of the users are staying on the platform organically, that is when you say, when you achieve product market fit. Is that clear? This is the best definition of product market fit. Product market fit is the time when your solution shows as high retentions of 70-80%, at least for a consumer product, that majority of the users that you acquired are staying on the product and using the product and again and not leaving the product. That is the case when you say that you have achieved product market fit, because now you know that your product is good enough that it actually solves the problems of users. Is that correct? Should I repeat this? Did you understand what I say? It is a very, very important concept, how retention is tied to product market fit. Is that clear to you guys? I need answers very clearly. Like, did you understand why I said in the second scenario where it's 80%, right? Swiggy has achieved product market fit. I need a yes in the chat. If this is clear to you, then I'll move to the next part. Awesome. Amazing. Now, what you realize, Daku Daddy Gaming, very interesting name, man. First of all, Daku Daddy Gaming. But yeah, the answer is that even if 1% of your people are even if it's a large number, they're staying in the platform and you're losing 99% of your people of users, you've not achieved product market fit. Maybe for a certain audience it is, but it will never become a scalable business, right? So now what you realized, in the 0 to 1 stage, you focus a lot on retention because you want to achieve product market fit. Now assume after the 0 to 1 stage, 80% of the users are saying, oh wow, it's an amazing product, we are going to use it. In the next stage, what do you focus on? You focus on growth, right? This is the stage when you start focusing a lot on revenue. Give me a second. Focus a lot on revenue, right, as a metric, right? This is the reason for that is because now you have figured out the early loyal users are there. Now you're scaling it from 1 to 10. Once you're scaling it from 1 to 10, now you see Swiggy does a lot of things. It says take Swiggy Super, right? Because people are finding so much value, it automatically understands that the value of getting no cost on a delivery in a subscription model is very high. So I will start focusing a lot on conversion. How do I effectively get the paid users who are paying 50 rupees or 100 rupees to effectively pay me more, pay me 200-300 bucks, so that I am effectively able to drive retention as well as to drive conversion. Does that make sense? Does that make sense to you? In the 1 to 10 stage, alongside acquisition, we also focus on how do I convert users? How do I lead the conversion to a point where people are paying money organically and so a simple example for this would be something like a product like Slack. Think of Slack as a product. You can use the Slack freely. Retention comes from using Slack. But the moment they know that majority of the people are using Slack, right? What is the next step that they do? They say you can only have 2,000 messages or 10,000 messages. If you want more than 10,000 messages, pay me, right? That's what they do. So logically, in the growth stage, after you have given value to the customer, a lot of platforms effectively get the value on day one in terms of money. A lot of platforms get it later. Like a very simple example is Facebook. While it was very small, when it only had 50 million users or 80 million users, Facebook was without ads. How many of you remember in 2014 there were no ads on Facebook? How many of you remember that those days that there were actually no ads on Facebook? So logically, they focused only on the fact that people should come and effectively enjoy, make friends, and find value. Slowly and steadily, once they scaled, they got enough data points that they started showing ads and effectively started making money. In lot of consumer platforms, revenue and retention go hand in hand. In lot of platforms, retention leads to revenue. Is that clear, or should I repeat it again? In lot of platforms, revenue and retention go hand in hand. In lot of platforms, retention leads to revenue. Is that clear, or should I repeat it and give example of this? Is that clear or not? I want an answers in the chat, guys. Give me a yes or no on the chat. Awesome. Okay. So Shahrukh, in a place like Swiggy, right? In a place like Swiggy, the when you attain retention, when you activate, right? Revenue is getting for the first time only, because when you are doing an order, you are paying a delivery fees. So logically, your value or retention on every order is getting to some paid metric, right? Some payment. But on the contrary, in Slack, you will effectively be able to use Slack for free. But you are using Slack and it's building so much value for you because you're able to communicate to your friends, do everything around it. Slowly and steadily, what you realize that Slack is adding so much value to your life that you need access to more than 10,000 messages, right? And in that scenario, people tend to pay for Slack, right? That is where they say ki, no yaar, I want my old conversations, I want my old media, I want my old files, right? So that is, in that scenario, here revenue is leading to retention, right? In the first scenario like Swiggy, revenue and retention went hand in hand. But in the second scenario, revenue led to retention, right? Sorry, retention led to revenue, right? Shahrukh, is that clear now? Exactly. There are multiple companies where retention drives revenue, right? 90% of the companies, retention drives revenue. Does that make sense, right? Shahrukh, is that clear? Amazing, amazing, amazing. So what happens is, now you have cracked retention, you have cracked revenue. What is the third stage the company will start focusing on? It is acquisition, right? Bring more customers, right? Now the third stage is that logically you will bring more customers, because now you have cracked retention. You know whosoever comes on my platform finds value, effectively converts to a paid user, does all of those things. But now what is the way to score? Now you know that your bucket, there is this concept of a leaky bucket. If your bucket has a hole, right, whatever water you put from outside, it will go out. But let's assume you built a very strong bucket in which there is no hole, right? Right? In that scenario, if you add more and more water to it, you will hold the value together. So logically, after you have cracked retention and revenue, you bring more and more customers on the platform so that the platform scales. That is why companies start focusing on growth, right? I'll take two questions now. I've seen there is a question from Sudeep. So basically, retention is making people addicted for your product. Can we drive retention without generating value? Rarely happens. It cannot happen. Like, if you don't find value, why would a user come back again and again, unless and until you're forcibly pushing him by putting ads on his face? It is not possible to drive retention without generating value. This is a flaw. This is a mental model. Only value can drive repeat usage. Without value, it is not. Even for B2B companies, think of B2B companies. I told you, a B2B company is like Slack is effectively a B2B company, right? Slack ki jagah chhod do. If think of Salesforce, right? What is the value of Salesforce? Salesforce gives you a freemium subscription to use, and basically, and then eventually tells you that if you want more services like integration of other tools, you have to pay for it, right? That is exactly how it happens. So logically, and after that is done, then you effectively, when you know that majority of my solution, this is the difference between a service based and a product based company. What is the difference? A product based company effectively tries to make a product in such a way that it provides value. It builds such a product that any customer that comes on its platform effectively gets value, right? That is something that you try to solve. And once the value is 100% there, what exactly do you do besides that? That then you say that now I've figured out the value, now let people come in and automatically start, they will start paying, and we have to focus on growth. So logically, in the PMF state, you focus on retention as a metric. You look at retention curves, right? Second, when generally in the growth stage, you focus both on retention and revenue, but major focus is on how do you convert users to paid users, right? And then in the acquisition state, you bring more customers. Now acquisition is also of two types, right? Organic acquisition and paid acquisition. Organic acquisition is something in which you are effectively telling the user that the user is almost coming for free, like searching for you on Google, etc. So lot of places, lot of companies like W3 schools as a company, right? They effectively do, they had a very, on a very late stage, they started an advertising model, right? Because majority of their acquisition is free, people are organically coming on their page, right? But in case of paid acquisition, when you're bringing people from a paid channel and you're putting money there, revenue becomes a priority. Is that clear? In case of paid acquisition, a customer coming on your platform, then there specifically revenue becomes a priority. Does that make sense? Acquisition is also of two types. If majority of your traffic, if majority of your target segment is organic, then you can delay revenue for a certain while because they're free users, they're anyway coming to your free on your platform. But if you're acquiring users by paying money to it, right, in that scenario, acquisition revenue becomes a major criteria. Because if you're investing $1 million in bringing users, then you should generate $2 million to sustain the business, right? So these are the three steps: product market fit, growth, and acquisition, that effectively we look at different metrics. Now, what are the metrics that you effectively try to measure these things? So the first thing that you effectively try to measure across is that there are multiple metrics, right? So in a subscription led model, let's take an example of a Netflix as a service. Netflix wants to figure out whether its service is actually good or not. Yes, definitely. डाकू डैडी गेमिंग, yes. एक तो मैं तेरा नाम लेके मुझे बहुत हंसी आ रही है यार. ठीक है. डाकू डैडी गेमिंग, yes. In 1 to 10, it can be considered, there can be partial acquisition that can be done. Now I want to explain some of the core metrics that we talked about. Specifically, when Netflix was in a 0 to 1 stage, what did they focus on? What did they focused on their retention curves, right? What I mean by retention curves is Netflix has a monthly subscription model, right? Is that everybody knows that Netflix has a monthly subscription model? Everyone is aware of that? Now in the 0 to 1 stage, when they were building a monthly subscription model, they focused on that every month, what percentage of users are retaining to pay the next month, right? So logically, in a 0 to 1 stage, they started looking at what percentage of users are retaining to pay the next month. And this number they effectively focused, and the basically the VP of product when Netflix started becoming a subscription service was Gibson Biddle. Gibson Biddle basically said that this number was around 97%. So they had a 3%, what do you call as churn rate. Guys, how many of you know what's churn rate? What's churn rate? I need an answer, guys. What is churn rate? What is churn rate? अरे भाई बताओ बताओ, या तो मेरी चैट बहुत स्लो यार, ये यूट्यूब को ना इसको तेज करना पड़ेगा, इंटरनेट का कुछ सीन है. What is churn rate? So Gibson Biddle said that they had a monthly retention of 97%. Yes, correct. So they said every month they are effectively losing out 3% of their customers logically. So if every month they are losing out 3% of a customer, there comes another concept which basically says whenever a company acquires a customer, right, what is the total revenue that it will give to the company? This is explained by the concept called LTV, lifetime value. What is lifetime value? What is lifetime value? Is if a customer is acquired, what is the total revenue after his acquisition? Like, let me give you a very simple example. तुम अपने घर के पास रहते हो. How many of you have shops around your house? सबकी होगी. Some karyana shop where you go, or general store where you go every day, right? All of you must have some shops around your house. Is that correct? Some general store which you go on a daily basis. Give me a yes or no, guys. You have those things around you. Now, logically, what if I have to ask, what is your LTV as a customer for that shop? Let's assume every day you go and you do a transaction of 100 rupees. You effectively do a transaction of 100 rupees. Logically, because it's a general store, your LTV will be existing till the shop exists or till you stay at that place, right? Unless and until you leave that place, right? Bounce rate is not, Akash, bounce rate is not a concept here. Bounce rate basically is a different concept. Churn rate basically means you becoming a non-paid user from a paid user. That's what you say as a churn rate, right? Logically, भाई तेरे से माय किरान इज अपसेट विद मी दैट आई ऑर्डरिंग फ्रॉम जियो मार्ट. एलटीवी मिस कैलकुलेट हो गया. बहुत सही बेटा, बहुत सही. ठीक है. सो लाइफ टाइम वैल्यू इज बेसिकली व्हेन यू गेट अ सर्विस, how long will you use the service? So lifetime value is typically computed as average revenue per order, revenue per transaction, multiplied by time spent, total lifetime spent while using the product. A very simple example is, let's assume Netflix. If we have to find out the LTV of a Netflix product, Netflix user, what is the typical amount that you pay for Netflix? $10, right? Guys, that's somewhere we pay around $500, right? Is that correct? You pay somewhere around $10 for Netflix every month, somewhere around that. Sometime less, sometime more, but $10 let's take on average. Assume that I give you that my churn rate is 5%, right? So 1 by churn rate is typically, so logically, if you're losing out 5% customers every month, so in order to lose the entire base or the customer who started on day one, you will have to spend 20 months on Netflix to effectively let go of the user. Is that clear? Is that clear to you guys? If 5% is the churn rate, I did 1 by 5%. That is typically the time spent on the platform. So logically, if you're losing 5 customers every month, so it will take you 20 months in order to let go of all the customers or the first user who effectively joined. After 20 months, the user will become, on an average, will become dormant. Is that clear? So typically, your time on the platform is equal to 1 by churn rate. Is that clear? Is that clear to you guys? So logically, the LTV of Netflix is going to be 10 into 20, $200. ये समझ में आया सबको? I said my churn rate was 5%. Logically, it was 5%. After, and I did 1 by churn rate. What if the time or average time? What is that? Will it be the time or average? No, it's not the average time. It's the total lifetime spent on the platform. 1 by churn rate. Churn rate basically means if I say that every month I'm losing 5 users, so logically the most loyal user will be lost after 20 months, right? Because he is most loyal. Eventually, the value will deprecate. Sooner or later, you will eventually come out of the platform. So logically, 1 by churn rate is taken is thought of as the total time spent on the platform multiplied by average revenue gives you the LTV of the platform, the lifetime value. Correct. And desired time frame को हम कैसे निकालते हैं अनिल? Desired time frame is 1 by churn rate. So LTV is average churn rate by, sorry, average revenue by churn rate. Awesome. Amazing. Now LTV is clear. Now what is CAC? There is another metric that we keep speaking about. CAC. Cost of acquisition of a customer. What is CAC? CAC basically क्या होता है? CAC is the total cost you incurred in order to get a paid customer. Total cost incurred in order to become a paid customer. That is CAC. Is that clear? Total cost incurred in order to become a paid customer. Now, what does that mean? Let's assume you brought a user on $4 on a platform. Somebody clicked on an ad. You spent $4 as the cost of an ad, $4 to be spent on the platform. This is just to come on the platform, right? Come on the platform. It's not CAC. Now, out of 100 such users, so how much amount of money did you spend on 100 users to bring on the platform? It is $400, right? I said $4 were actually spent to bring the user on the platform. For bringing 100 users, 100 such users, you will have to spend $400. Is that clear? Now, once you've spent out of these 400, 10 users actually buy the subscription. What's the CAC here? CAC is $40. ये बात समझ में आई? You spent $4 to bring the user on the platform. You brought 100 such users on the platform, so you spent $400. Out of the 100 users, 10 users effectively converted to be a paid user. So logically, you are spending $40 for acquiring a paid customer. Is that clear? Is that clear to you guys? You are acquiring, the CAC is $40, not $4. The CAC is $40, right? Now you figured out the LTV of Netflix is $200. The CAC is $40, right? So whenever your LTV is greater than your CAC, you have a sustainable business. You have a sustainable business. And if your LTV by CAC ratio is greater than 3, then you have a great business. Like it means if you spend $1 in acquiring a customer, you are effectively getting $3 as an output. Is that clear? Right? Is that clear? So if your core lifetime value of a product is greater than CAC, you have a sustainable business. If the LTV by CAC ratio is greater than 3, then you have a great business, right? And here it's 5. It's actually 5. So is Netflix a great business or not? Is that fundamentally understood? बात fundamentally clear हुई कि क्यों Netflix का LTV ज्यादा है, क्यों Netflix is a great business? Because they have made such a great product that on an average a user spends 20 months on the platform paying $10 each. CAC is agreed. CAC is, I am talking here about blended CAC. I'm not talking about Utkarsh platform level pack. You can do that. You can say that Facebook is cheaper, Instagram is expensive, LinkedIn is more expensive. But I am talking about from a product lens. The average CAC of the platform is $40 and the average LTV of the platform is $200, right? Depends. So yes, logically, a very interesting question that Daku Daddy Gaming has asked again is that in case of Amazon, is the churn rate more or less? It can be more, it can be less. But logically, whenever you have an yearly subscription now, your churn rates, then the cash flow or the total sustainability of the business increases, because you are not giving a chance to the customer to get away next month. You are saying you have to pay for an entire, so the commitment is higher. So higher commitment products typically are more sustainable, but higher commitment products are difficult to build also. People don't commit that much amount of money, right? So that is the thing. So logically, is this clear to you guys that why Netflix is a great business? I gave a Netflix example. Same example can be taken at any point of time. So logically, you improved your PMF, you improved your retention. Once you improved retention, you had a very good, you have very less churn rate. So logically, your LTV will become higher. And if your LTV becomes higher, so then greater than your cost of acquisition, then so I told you to one last thing before I kind of complete this. So logically, what you did, you first focused on retention, said that $10 is the average amount and 20 months a user will stay, so 200 is my value. So first case, you focused a lot on retention so that your churn rate is as low as 5%. Correct? Then what you did, you focused a lot on growth. What I meant was conversion. Here, you said that on an average, out of 100 users, 10 users convert. Can I take this number to 20%? So logically, if you are able to convert 20 users instead of 10, your CAC reduces to 20. $20. Is that clear? So in the second stage, I focused a lot on conversion. I said, out of the total users I acquire, how many users are effectively able to convert into a paid customer? It was 10. And then I slowly and steadily moved towards 20. So logically, your CAC even reduced. So if I say out of 100 customers, instead of 10, 20 are paying for it. So your CAC is half. Is that clear? Yeah, agreed. Typically, Mayank, the answer to that question is that typically, if you look at SaaS products, the marginal cost of adding another customer, the operational cost is almost zero. That's why everybody focuses on product-led growth. Yes, in an operational business, LTV greater than CAC will not be able to something. So what Mayank is asking is that, अरे ops cost भी तो होती है. There is a lot of cost that gets incurred because of providing services to the user. But that is the beauty of a SaaS business. Like once you build a product, the marginal cost of adding another customer on the platform is almost zero. Almost zero, right? LTV will be taken at a gross level, that is exactly what I'm saying, Shrey. Same question Mayank was asking. In the case of a product-led business, the marginal cost of adding another customer on the platform is nearly negligible. Why do you feel Google has such a high net profit of 35%? They make $40 billion in a revenue of $120 billion. On the contrary, because Google is a completely product-led structure, they're heavily focused on scaling it via tech. But yes, if it's an operational business, I agree. LTV greater than CAC, then you will have to add more things into the structure in order to make it a viable business. But we are not talking about random businesses here. We're talking about high quality product businesses here. Right? Is that clear now? Mayank, is that clear to you? Give me a yes or no in the chat. Mayank, is that clear? The marginal cost of adding another customer in a product-led platform is almost zero. If Google wants to add one more customer, the only thing on its platform is a server cost. That's it. It's not like you have to call, you have to operationalize certain things. Understood. Fair enough. Fair enough. So logically, we have come to a point today that we try to understand that basically whenever you think of metrics, right, you first think of a user journey. in a user journey, you start focusing on what are there are stages of a company when they start focusing on. In a 0 to 1 stage, you start focusing on retention. In a growth stage, you start focusing on revenue and retention both, because you want to decrease the CAC. And in the third stage, acquisition, you bring more customers, you want to further decrease the CAC. Then we realized that monthly retention, if it's 20% for a consumer platform, it has not achieved product market fit. But as it grows higher, yeah, I will do a case study next time. But what I'm trying to put across to you is, as we grow higher, it typically reaches 80%. That means you are achieving product market fit. Once you have achieved product market fit, then we did Netflix as an example. We saw in a 0 to 1 stage, they had a churn rate of 3% or 5%. Based on this churn rate, we figured out the metric which is called lifetime value. And lifetime value basically means average revenue divided by churn rate. So logically, if the churn rate is 5% and we are getting $10 per month, so effectively the user will invest $200 over his lifetime on Netflix, right? Then we figured out what's CAC. CAC is the total cost incurred to become a paid user. So logically, if you are bringing one user on your platform as a free user for $4, for 100 users, it's $400, right? And out of those 100 users, if 10 users effectively become paid users, so logically you are spending $40 to acquire a paid customer. Now, here your LTV is $200, your CAC is $40. So logically, when your LTV is greater than CAC, you have a sustainable business. Assuming the fact that the marginal cost of adding one more customer on the platform, a core customer on the platform, is zero. Because in a SaaS product, that is the reason everybody speaks about build SaaS products. We have to do product-led growth. ये सब जो ज्ञान होता है ना कि product-led growth, ये क्या होता है? Product-led growth basically तुम्हें ये बताता है, it tells you that as we scale, there is this interesting thing. You form delight having, there is this very interesting model that Gibson Biddle spoke about, DHM model. DHM basically says about delight, habit forming, margin enhancing products. I will write here, delight, habit forming, margin enhancing products. Now you clearly think of this. Okay, just give me, I'll make it slightly bigger. Can you read this? Delight, habit forming, margin enhancing products. Why is the word margin enhancing there? Because with SaaS products, as you scale, your margin becomes better with scale, right? Margin enhancing. This is the beauty of a SaaS product. Do you realize the beauty of a SaaS product than an operational product? If Swiggy has to scale, because Swiggy is a consumer product, right? They will always have problems in order to effectively get those margins aligned. Because the more number of orders happen, the more delivery partners they need. The more delivery partners they need, the more difficult it becomes to manage the business, the more costs you incur, the more refunds, the more cancellations. But on the contrary, in a product like Intercom or a product like Google, right? There is no operational cost practically. So your ad users, they're adding revenue, but they're adding no cost. On the only cost is server cost. So logically, that's the reason B2B enterprise SaaS products are so big in company. That is the reason you see this $100 billion company. Salesforce does $30 billion in revenue, and it's a $600 billion company. Right? So that is the reason every company wants to drive products through product-led growth structure. Is that clear to you guys? समझ में आया कि why I am saying that product-led growth is the future? Because product-led growth at scale, the margins become better, which is counterintuitive to operational businesses, where at scale the margins actually slow down, come down. क्या ये बात समझ में आई? Is that clear to you guys? Give me a yes or no. This is a very important concept. Delight, habit forming, margin enhancing products. Amazing. So आज हमने क्या पढ़ा है? Guys, I will close the live today. Today in the session 1 of this part, we understood where we should focus on from a metric standpoint, what are the different stages of a company. Simultaneously, we figured out what is LTV, what is CAC, simultaneously why LTV greater than CAC makes a lot of sense, and simultaneously we figured out that why scalable businesses, sustainable businesses are delight, habit forming, margin enhancing products. यहाँ तक बात समझ में आई? Very interesting. In the next lecture that is happening next Sunday, we will talk about how do you identify these key metrics for your business or your product. That's going to be the amazing part. How do you identify what are the key metrics for my product and my business, right? Thank you very much, guys. I think this is where I want to end. I think we will consistently keep doing lives again, and I am always with you guys. Thank you very much. There have been 50 offers from you guys. I am super happy for all of you. I really want more and more support. So do subscribe to the channel. Please like the video. This is very important thing. I'm putting a lot of heart and soul into it. And whatever you have learned, please put it on LinkedIn. Please share your feedback. Put it across. इस channel को 10,000 subscriber तक लेके जाना है. As soon as possible. Please like the post, and thank you very much. Did you enjoy the session? Give me a yes or no, guys, in the chat. I need feedback. Did you enjoy the session? Be very honest about it. Was it fun? Did you understand the concept of how metrics are designed, how companies think of in a very good way, in a very simple way? Maza aaya? Did you guys enjoy the session? Awesome, guys. Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, guys. I'm dropping off. Lots of love and have a great Sunday. Awesome. Bye-bye.